I think we're rolling. Double check system screen. CPU at 46 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I think everything is alright. Hello, I'm known as actually a genome, and welcome to my formal home. Today it's just gonna be a bit of a slow burn. Nothing too exciting, nothing too interesting, but mainly it serves as a means to document my game dev's journey along the way. A couple of days ago, I think Sandbox got released with mixed reviews. As a matter of fact, let me check it out right now. So I think I mentioned this earlier in the previous stream, or one of the earlier streams, where I was a bit on the fence about Sandbox, not because um it's a bad engine or anything. Like I'm sure people can make like some really interesting things, but the stuff that I've seen on the surface so far is not promising. So if I go to Steam and try to find Sandbox for, oh boy, that's noise. It comes out at a whopping $20, give or take, with mixed reviews, with 2,000 people giving it a review. 46% of the 2005 user reviews is positive. So less than half is positive. Everything else is just not so good. I think the main reason is because people expected Sandbox to be Gmod 2, while Sandbox is probably supposed to be something different, like it's its own thing. I've understood that it's a game engine of some sort, or a tool where you can make games and you can release them royalty free, which sounds pretty good. But its performance not so much. So I'm just gonna let it sit out, or sit for a while and see what happens in a month or so after some patches. Am I going to use it in the future? Probably not, but we'll have to wait and see. I knew something like this is going to happen. Like I knew something is going wrong on release. Like it has been very consistent with any new software actually, really. So yeah, I'll say give it a little bit more time in an oven, and then afterwards we'll see how it tastes. But enough yapping about a different game engine. Let's go back to this game engine that I haven't booted up yet because I haven't really prepared anything. Let me put up some tunes in the background while I yap about. There we go. Let me check the volume levels. It should be like playing softly in the background. It doesn't need to be bombastic, but at least a little bit noticeable. Let me put it off. So for the past week, I've been working on the game on and off. At some point, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it at all. Modified 2 days ago, yeah, so I haven't really been dabbling in this as much. But I did use a different tutorial video for the movement stuff. Honestly, at this point in the game's development cycle, I am really not sure if I'm ever gonna be releasing this ever. I really want to. I'm not gonna give up yet. It's just very uncertain in its current state. Alright, oh look, there's the little game character that I made. I made the model, the texture. There's no animations. There's just nothing. It's just standing there. But it stands there really cool. Can I move on? There we go. I wanted to do something about the back burners in here, but I'll leave it. I might redesign the entire thing, but I'm not gonna go anything crazy. I just want to make a robot game. Does it work? That's an excellent question. Actually, an excellent question that no one asks. Yeah, it works. It's just very slow. Also doesn't really move the way that I want it to move. Actually, I think it's kind of jumpy. Or should just... Oh, there it is. Yeah, that is... Oh god. How am I supposed to make an entire game when I'm not making a lot of progress? I mean, it can jump once, then it needs like a bit of time to recharge before I can jump again. So do you want to know the title of the tutorial video I was following? The easiest way to make a third-person character. I don't believe that. If you look at this, I wonder if this shows up. You guys can't see this. Is it text file? No. I could have sworn I probably had like Blender. Pretty sure it's this one. Yes, it is this one. I think I've renamed it. Oh, okay. I have to rename this to something different. It's gonna be Visual Studio. I'll just call it Unity Visual Studio. I'm gonna make this right. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm kind of like reorganizing the OBS structure. Set color. Make this red. So anything important is red. Just call it Unity 6 Visual Studio. So I know exactly what that thing is. Okay, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Oh lordy. I had to set up everything from that video. This part isn't even being used. Wait, what? Why isn't this being used? Oh god. Install visual. Yeah, no, I don't want to do it yet. Not at the moment. So what are we gonna do today? I guess we're gonna still working on movement, because the character doesn't really move all that well. Like look at this. It's just I don't know why it's just so slow. I guess I could try increasing the speed, but it also moves around when I look around. Because now it kind of feels like a platformer character. Oh boy. So, I hope everyone watching this is prepared for some bumbling again. It's trying to figure out how to make a... Just make it move like the one I did in Unreal Engine. Alright, let's see. Character. Is there like a movement thing? Speed. It's 3. Let's do crazy. Let's do Chad. I'm feeling spicy today. That is much better. That feels much more nicer. Okay, we're off to a great start. But I can only jump after a while. Like, I can't jump immediately after touching the ground, which is really strange. Oh, good. There's something not right about this one. So, in this one, where is it? It has a grounded parameter. What it does is, I think it was one in here somewhere. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, it's going in through just fine. There is a spot where it renders a sphere. Maybe we can like type it in. Here. Okay, there it is. Private void grounded check is grounded physics dot check speed ground checkpoint precision ground check radius ground layer and we set pool yada yada yada. There's something like okay, there it is. Gizmos draw sphere. So whatever this sphere touches, it's gonna check if it touches the ground, and then afterwards, then you can jump. Can you just jump even when you're not touching the ground? Maybe that's why this thing isn't doing anything. Here it says can jump to true. Is there like a spot where I can... What if I put this on true? Put this away. Compiling. What if I can just jump infinitely? Oh, there we go. Oh, that feels so much nicer. Alright, I'm off to a great start. The character's kind of like just out of frame, so I might have to move the camera a bit back. Let's see. Maybe it's a lens that I need to change. 60. Okay, there, wow, that's I think a bit better. There we go, I can see my character on the screen. Yay. Now, the other thing that I want to do is... Wow, I'm making a lot of progress already just by shifting some numbers around. That's a good start, actually. Next up... Actually, I think I'm just gonna play some stuff in the world, because it's kind of like... Man. Let's see. Playing. Create empty... Actually, maybe 3D object. I want a cube. How do I... Okay, there we go. Is it? Is there a way to make a large slab? Just let it dip into the floor a bit. Can I give it a texture? That is wild. Alright, how do I... maybe Control D to duplicate. Oh, there we go. That's the secret sauce. There you go. I kind of want to fill the space a little bit, so I have like something to look at in the distance. Alright, that might be a bit too large. Let me shrink this down a bit. Let me just look tall. I do prefer the controls of Unreal Engine, but I guess this will do. Alright, bring me the player. There we go, now I got stuff to look at in the distance. Move you in here. Move you in here. Scale down. Scale a little larger. Okay, duplicates. It doesn't need to be anything specific. I just need to fill it out a little bit. Yeah, alright. It's a bit of an ugly grey world, but the only colored thing is the blue sky. You can make like a little space game out of this. How do I make a... Okay, there. For some reason, it kind of like jumps. Wait, is it because I... Surely it's not because of my mouse movements, right? Wait, let me reset. For some reason it just always points down. Oh, that is so weird. I don't know why it does that. Yeah, this would suck with aiming too. Like you try to aim something in a distance, but it just like kind of jumps. Yeah, I can make this work. You know, because of the low resolution, it kind of already looks like an old weird PlayStation 1 game. The only thing it needs is like this jittery character animations. I do want to look up higher than this. Down is fine, but I need to be able to look higher. Can I unclamp the thing? Can I group this? I don't think I can. Maybe I just do this and Control G? Control Shift G? Oh, it just makes it a game object. I don't think I need to do that just yet. I think it might be large structure.
Group.
Yeah, I can just do this. It's a bit rough to start all the way from the beginning with gaemdev, but it's yeah. I could continue with Unreal Engine, but I don't know. It just for some reason I kind of want to shift away from it, but I can't really explain why. Like this. Okay, let me boot it up. Let me boot it up. Maybe I can make something work. Recommend you do a friend or colleague. What? No, I just want to use it. Come on. Okay, there we go. That takes a while. Give me a sec. 63% degrees Celsius. Percent? No, degrees Celsius. Excuse me. Really fly. This thing uses like a whole bunch of blueprinting. It has guns. Okay, let me put this away. Yo, Starfire, welcome. How's it going? It's going. I'm just revisiting some. Oh, excuse me. Put this back up again. Trying to make the character feel nice, but it is. Wait, what? Okay, that is weird. It is very jittery. I don't know why that is. It's also very floaty. Try to do this in layers. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing alright. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well as well. Okay, movement feels nice, but the whole setup to make this guy move is a mess. Let me pull up the video that was following along.
So you just...
Oh boy, there he is. It's going alright. Nice, nice. Wait, where did I... Okay, there it is. Okay, yeah, that is Tyra 1, but don't worry.
played a game and had the worst character controller. It's the foundation mechanic and be demonstrating everything animator and controller scripting. Just as a quick heads up, I'll be demonstrating everything by creating a single-player third-person game. Keep in mind...
Yo, first blood. Congrats. Didn't expect this to be still available. Yeah, it's a bit of a slow day. So the title of this video is... I'll just post it in the chat. Easiest way to make a Unity third-person game. That's literally what it says. And a whole... Let me check. From this point of the... Wait, what? I was loading.
Right-click in a blank space in project
from here
to create.
All the way to here, it's just scripting. Nothing but scripting. And it feels like it's not flexible at all. But hey, it is called the easiest way to make a third-person game, according to this guy. I don't know, maybe I'm being whiny about it, complaining.
And that's all for our grounded check logic. So now let's just add our move and
thing is, he also uses animation. Easy is not the best. Yeah, that is true. Let me put this away. I mean, the result speaks for itself. I do have a character that can walk around. I've got to figure out how to... Oh god. Well, seriously, what is this? Why does it do that? Do I have to do the whole thing over again just to fix that weird issue? Hey, congrats on your 5 stream streak. Lots of things for me to do. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. I kind of want to try something. So this is already a pretty good setup. But I do want to make comparison with a different tutorial video. See if there's any similarities. If there's any differences, I think I can maybe go between the two of them. Let me try that. Also, there is like a missing component because I don't have animations for this character. Well, actually, wait, I do. It's just in different poses. I guess we can try incorporating that, but let's see first. This way, this way. Keep it running. Unity, third-person controller. Uh, 9 months ago, how to make the best player control in Unity.
A rigid body, apply a force at the contact point in the direction of the surface normal.
Okay, wait, but this doesn't really... well, it explains, but doesn't really
is to use
show.
The character controller, but you want to have your character actually interact with Unity physics? In that case, you can simply make it so that for every contact your character controller makes with a rigid body, apply a force at the contact point in the direction of the surface.
Wait.
Creating a rigid body controller, you've probably seen tutorials where people directly set the velocity of the rigid body. I have to tell you, this is not entirely the right way of using rigid body, and something you should pretty much avoid. Setting velocity every physics frame explicitly is not recommended in Unity's documentation. Here's why. First, let's understand what a rigid body actually is. A rigid body controls objects through a physics simulation, which means that it is trying
Here's
to
the thing, I don't need the robot to be a rigid body. I just need to make it move around, and that's it. It doesn't interact with physics at all.
We're essentially breaking the laws of physics.
As a matter of fact, I do want to avoid physics if I can.
But this, of course, also has problems. Humans move like this, not like this. The truth is that the player controllers we develop for games don't perfectly represent real-life physics, which is exactly why making a proper rigid body player controller is so challenging. In real life, we don't have a floating capsule. So how do we do this the right way? First of all, we need to use the force mode of velocity change when adding force to the rigid body. This ensures that velocity changes aren't affected by the rigid body's mass or the simulation step length. Next, we need...
It doesn't really help if I'm just skimming through it. It's actually a really good video, but I don't think I can use it. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, that's exactly what I'm using.
About going down, same principle. You want to teleport the player's position to the stair below, otherwise you'll just glide through the stairs. Okay, now we have at least a functional player controller for most scenarios. I say most because you never know what physics problems you'll encounter later, which brings us to a different solution, not using the physics engine at all. Unity's character controller. Since the character controller doesn't use Unity's physics engine, we update it in the update method. Many people think that every moving code needs to go in fixed update, but that's not the case. The benefit of using the character controller is that most problems we had with rigid bodies simply don't exist. We don't even need to implement separate ground checking. There's one already built into the character controller. Slopes works out of the box, no skipping, equal velocity in both directions. Stairs, also built in and adjustable with the step offset property. For interacting with physics objects in the scene, you can...
Also, I don't think I'm gonna put steps in the game at all as well. Okay, you know what? Let's take this one step at a time. Trying to find like a third-person movement in Unity.
For the first week, there'll be a 20% discount on the...
Hey, also this video is 5 years old.
You'll receive the Bugs Collider on our cube, and that's it for our graphics. On our this way we do graphics. Alright, so we're now ready to create some movement. And I think it's a good idea that we start with the camera. For this, we'll be using Cinemachine, which is Unity's solution for creating interactive camera.
Wait, using what?
For this, we'll be using Cinemachine, which is Unity's solution for creating interactive camera movement. It makes it really easy to set up pretty advanced camera behavior without writing any code. So let's go ahead and open up our window, and let's go to the package manager. Here we need to select all packages, and we can then search for Cinemachine. Simply click on it and go to the bottom to install and update. And once this is in your project, we can start using it. To do this, we go to the top under where it says Cinemachine, and here we can create all kinds of camera behavior. What we're going to be making is called a free look camera. So let's hit create free look camera, and as you can see, this creates a new game object with a free look camera component. As you can see, this is a separate object from our main camera. Let's go ahead and rename this to third person camera. And what this essentially is going to do is tell our main camera what to do. As you can see, our main camera now has a brain component, and it shows here that the current live camera is the new free look camera.
Actually, wait, how do you get this game preview in the corner? Let me try that. Maybe window game preview? General game. No, that's not it. Scene camera. No, don't touch that. Alright, I'm just gonna continue.
This means that it will currently follow the directions of our free look camera. So let's go ahead and set this up. The first thing that we want to do is have it follow around our player. So let's simply take our third person player and drag it into the follow slot. We also want to have it constantly look at our player, so let's take our player object and drag it into the look at slot. And right away, if we switch to our game view, we can see that our camera is currently looking directly at our player. Let's just go ahead and drag this to the side here so we can see what's happening. Now, of course, currently our camera is way too close to the player. So to adjust this, we...
Hang on. How did I set up mine? Okay, let me check. So... camera targets. Wait, yeah, how did I set up the camera? It's completely different. Wait, but then how did the other guy do it? Let me check this. It starts from here.
Cinemachine. We're going to set up Cinemachine to simply make our camera follow the player. The first step is to create a new game object as a child of your player character. Let's call it camera target. Move this object to around the neck area of your character. Next, right-click in the hierarchy, navigate to Cinemachine and click Cinemachine Camera. This will add Cinemachine into your scene. Click on Cinemachine Camera and set the lens to 40 from the inspector. This is just a personal preference, honestly. After that, set the tracking target to the camera target game object you created. Also, set position control to third person follow. Set the shoulder values to 0, and now you should be able to see the back of your player character properly through game view. It may not be perfect, so we can adjust the camera distance value. Also, I highly recommend enabling avoid obstacles. Leave the collision filter on default, but enable ignore tag and set it to player. Click on your player character and set their tag to player.
Wait, so... It is Cinemachine, but he set it up in a very different way.
I'd recommend setting their layer to player as well.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have one, you can
really
simply
makes it
create
safe.
it.
Just change children.
Our camera is now set to follow the player character. To test it, enter play mode and adjust the player's position through the transform component. You'll see that no matter where you move the player, the camera stays locked on. And that's it. That's all you really need to do to set up Cinemachine.
Wait, but how did he set up the scripting site? Here he's explaining the input system. Also with look. This is the animation side of it. I might try to implement this because I will have some animations somewhere down the line. Guess I could try that. Boning scripting. Yeah, and this entire section is just scripting. Vector 2 look. Okay, let me I'm just gonna keep this on true. Just really weird setting up, but it moves in the way that I want it to move. That's what matters. Let's look for, well, look. Late update, look rotation. If move direction, square magnitude, larger than 0.01, quaternion target rotation is quaternion look rotation. Move direction, transform rotation equals quaternion slurp. Transformed off rotation, target rotation's time, fixed delta time to the factor of 10. Yeah, this is a lot just for looking around. No, wait, this is for move direction. But it also affects the look rotation. Oh, because then you... Right. I think I get it. Let me take a look at this guy again.
We need to go down under where it says orbits around our player. It will currently follow the directions of our free look camera. So let's go ahead and set this up. The first thing that we want to do is have it follow around our player. So let's simply take our third person player and drag it into the follow slot. We also want to have what we're going to be making. So let's go ahead and open up our window and let's go to the package manager. Simply click, we can start using it. To do this, we go to the top under where it says Cinemachine, and here we can create all kinds of camera behavior. What we're going to be making is called a free look camera. So let's hit create free look camera. And as you can see, this creates a new game object with a free look camera component. As you can see, this is a separate object from our main camera. Let's go ahead and rename this to third person camera. Yeah. And what this essentially is going to do is tell our main camera what to do. As you can see, our main camera now has a brain component. And
oh wait, that's how he does it. If he clicked on the main camera, then the camera preview just is going to show up.
And it shows here that the current live camera is the new free look camera. This means that it will currently follow the directions of our free look camera. So let's go ahead and set this up. The first thing that we want to do is have it follow around our player. So let's simply take our third person player.
Okay, wait. Wait, turn on music. Yeah, this thing, camera. Can I change how? I cannot. It's locked. Can I move the character? I can. Can't have it grounded check. Okay. This is a weird way to, is it this one maybe? Yeah, it is this one. This is the Cinemachine camera that is now locked to the camera target. So if I move the camera target, then it just moves wherever the Cinemachine camera is moving. Maybe I already did put a free look in there, so maybe this is what that is. I just don't get why it's so jittery. I'll try it again. Yeah, it just immediately points down. Why? I really don't know how to fix this. Also, I might try making the character fall down a bit more quicker than just this weird moon jump that he does. Alright, fine, let's try that. How do I do that? Use gravity, yes. How strong is the gravity? I don't know. If you have to make the mass 2? Oh, stop doing that? Oh, you guys can't see this. Wait, hang on. Okay, there we go. Now you guys can see this. Oh, and become so much heavier. Okay, let's not do the mass. Let's keep it at 1. Alright. Linear dampening. Let's turn that to 5. Okay, there. Why is it doing that? And it stopped. Oh, this is awful. I could try a whole bunch of different camera setups. This thing is so janky as hell. I think I have to do the whole camera setup all over again. I kind of want to try keeping the movement, but I don't know how to make the character face forward no matter what direction the camera's looking at. I don't want to be able to move the camera around while looking at a player, but as soon as it moves, then it's just gonna face forward. How do I even do that? Yeah, you can tell that I'm not a programmer or scripter or a code-savvy person. You know what? Let's take it one at a time. Unity, make character keep moving its direction of camera. AI overview, sure. Create a C# script named look at. Yeah, that's not gonna. Unity movement relative to camera. Okay, yeah, no, I can see this. It feels like I need to freeze rotation. There you go. Oh, but now I can't jump. Yeah, I froze the white position. Maybe it's in the. Look speed is 100. Target top clamp. Actually, maybe that's what it is. Suppose it's 80. It keeps jumping around. Look at this. Stop doing that. No, I still can't look higher than this. Maybe it just needs to be lower instead of higher. So instead of 80, let's put it at 60. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, 60. Let's do it on 45. No, I can't. I can't look higher than this. I really want to look almost directly up, but the game won't let me. What's at 70? What if the bottom clamp is at minus 80 instead of minus 30? Okay, now we're talking. Oh god. Oh wait, we're back in action. Maybe the best way to do this is to watch multiple. Oh god, why is it doing that? Like multiple tutorials on how to make a third-person controller, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna look something up. Maybe it's a problem on my side and not the way I set up the controller. Yeah. I mean, the character moves. It's a start. Doesn't move good, and it's jittery. That's so weird. Alright, I'm gonna look it up. Unity camera jittery. Reddit. Can anyone tell me why my camera jitters around while using what? Rigid body movement. Try moving camera in fixed update or late update. Just remember it clearly just a player game object with a movement script and a rigid body and stuff. You're breaking the physics simulation by setting transform rotation directly. Well, I didn't know that. I was just following a Unity tutorial. But this is a problem from 7 months ago, so it's fairly recent. Movement should use fixed delta time since it's called by fix update. Mouse is called by update but doesn't use delta time. Is that what that is? Alright, let's put this out. What was it? Late delta time? Okay, wait, what? I did have update something. Okay, wait, let me look it up. Time. Let me check. Jump down time. Delta time multiplier, delta time. Fixed delta time. Did I not have something like that set up? I could have sworn. Cinema machine, there you go. Now speed. Jump down time. That is strange. Here's fixed at the time. Move direction. Jump. Set trigger. Wait for seconds. I could have sworn he did like a whole bunch of... Maybe it's this one. There's clamp. Return, grounded check. Draw gizmo. This doesn't get activated. Let me check. unlock on run. Yeah, the run isn't active. What is this song? Oh, this is from Tenchu. Right. Delta. There's like update and fix. Let me see updates. Okay, there it is. Update, late update, fixed update. Wait a minute, did I not finish the rest of the tutorial? Hang on. Oh, you guys can see this? Yeah.
Bool field called is grounded and set its default value to true since our player starts. Set it to
where did he do?
Lost you look in late update and move in fixed update. These update methods are automatically called by Unity at slightly different timings. We want our grounded check to occur immediately, which is why it's an update. We want movement to finish first before updating our rotation, which is why look is in late update. Fixed update is synchronized with the physics system, which is why it's best to put move there. At this point, we're officially done coding our character controller. All we have left is testing. But before I forget, make sure to freeze rotations on our player's rigid body.
Yeah.
Now we can safely enter play mode and test our controller.
He has the same issue too.
Alright, it works. However, I am noticing an issue with the jump animation transitions, so I'm just gonna fix that real quick. Okay, that looks pretty good. Remember, you can fine-tune things yourself as you'd like. Anyway, I hope I've helped you learn some basics of Unity game development. If you have any questions or you'd like to see me tackle a different topic...
How's it going? I'm just chilling and hopefully I can make my game work good. But how's it going? I hope you're doing well.
Not.
I see you're... Well, I hear you're doing well. Yeah, my game is a hot mess and I don't know why. Look, oh wait. Alright, now it's right. No, wait, it's still jittery. Okay, there we go. Now it's ready. Yeah, I have not a lot of hope for this little Unity game project. Lol. It's just moving the camera just glitches all over, and I don't know why. Should I just start again from the beginning? Like, do this enough times until I can get it right? And then I can move on to the next one. Somehow I'm moving... Him moving like this so menacing. Well, it's... I didn't add any of the animations in there, as you can clearly see. Like, I can add animations, but I first want to make it feel good to move around, but it just keeps jittery sometimes. Okay, there. Like, I'm just slowly moving the camera, or maybe if I... Yeah, there. That's so weird. Going to the left. Character reminds me of Pragmata. Well, my character was first before Pragmata came. Which is really sad, actually. Slowly work. I mean, it's a very common design. Hang on. Why else do you think I really liked robots from Pragmata? Of course it's a good design. Actually, I do want to try moving close to the wall so I can put the camera against it. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I can just do this. You've got this. You finish it? Oh, Pragmata. Yeah, I did finish it. And I can start a a side story or something. But oh god, during the final boss, or actually way before the final boss, my stream died for 2 hours, and I didn't notice until like 2 hours later. So people couldn't see me beat the boss, but luckily enough, the VODs still work. But now I have to split it into two VODs. It's a whole mess. Which is why I changed the stream title to "If the stream doesn't load, yell it out in chat, please." But we'll see how it goes for now. And weirdly enough, it's the only time where that happened. It wasn't just you. I see. Well, lucky me, I guess, and many others that might be affected. Oh, thank you for the hug. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Alright, I don't think this is gonna work out. See, this is me moving around slowly. And the camera does that. Like, you can see at the mouse pointer. Okay, now it's normal. Now I have to move the mouse here. Oh, wait, it's doing that again. Okay, I'm gonna scrap the entire thing. This sucks. So, I'm not sure if it's this tutorial specifically that makes it jittery, or there's a setting that I missed, or maybe the way that I scripted it. But I don't know. It just doesn't work. I guess I can try this old one and see how well that works. Hey, this is Mega Man. The music. Okay, let's put this away.
And drag it into the follow slot. We also want to have it brain main camera what to do. As you can see, our main camera now has a brain component, and it shows.
Actually, wait, didn't he just add like a character thing?
Here that the current live camera is the new freeload camera. This means that it will currently follow the directions of our freeload camera. So let's go ahead and set this up. The first thing that we want to do is have it follow around our player. So let's simply take our third person player and drag it into the follow slot. We also want to have it constantly look at our player. So let's take our player object and drag it into the look at slot. And right away, if we switch to our game view, we can see that our camera is currently looking directly at our player. Let's just go ahead and duck this to the side here so we can see what's happening. Now, of course, currently our camera is way too close to the player. So to adjust this, we need to go down under where it says orbits. Now, we can think of the camera as having 3 orbits that we blend between. In fact, we can actually see these in the scene view. There's one at the bottom, one in the middle, and one at the top. And this allows us to adjust camera settings depending on the height of the camera. For example, it normally works well to have the camera move closer to the player when it gets near the ground. So to do this, we can position the bottom rig here near the ground and give it a pretty small radius. So let's start with that. So let's go over here under our bottom rig. Let's decrease the height here so that we get close to the ground.
I'm playing this at 2 times speed to
let's then set the height of the middle rig to something like maybe 5, and the radius to something like 17. And we can see immediately that because our camera is currently on the middle orbit, it gets farther away from the player because we increase the radius. And for the height here, let's set that to something like 14 and give it a radius of 12. We also want to set the binding mode here from symbol follow to world space. This is because that for this controller, we don't want the camera to be influenced by the rotation of the character. Instead, we want the character to move in the direction of the camera. And so
interesting.
Camera rotation of the character. Instead, we want the character to move in the direction of the camera. And so our camera shouldn't be bound to our player, but to the world space instead. Now we can go ahead and preview our camera settings by simply going up under axis control and changing the y-axis value. As you can see, this moves our camera up and down. And it seems that there's an obstacle in the way here, so let's just take our third-person player and move it over so that we can see what's happening. Or we can just hit play and try it out using our mouse. And as you can see, our camera is moving in and out of the 3 different orbits. Awesome. Now, by default, this is going to be using the standard mouse input. You can change the input axis names here in case you want to use something else to control the camera, or even change the y and x values manually through script by leaving the input names blank. But in my case, I just want to use the mouse. You can also change the sensitivity here by adjusting the speed. I'm going to set this to 4 and decrease the acceleration time. And I'm also going to increase the speed on the x. I'm going to set this to 450. Finally, you can actually compose your shot for each orbit by going into the corresponding rig in the inspector. As you can see, we can adjust all these properties here for top, middle, and bottom rig. Or even simpler, if you turn on game window guides at the top, you control this using the guides in the game view. So right now I'm on the middle rig and I can go ahead and adjust dead zones and position the player wherever I want. Really cool. But for now, I just want this to stay in the center. Alright, so now that our camera is working, it's time to get the player moving. To do this, let's select our player, let's hit add component, and we're going to add in a character.
And this is before adding a character component.
Controller. I'm going to set the radius of this to something like 0.6, the height to 3.6, and that should give us a nice character controller collider. I'm also going to add another component here, and that is of course a third-person movement script. This is a custom script that we're going to be writing. Let's double-click it to open it up in Visual Studio. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the start function here, and the first thing that we need is a reference to our character controller, because we're going to be using that to move. So let's create a public character controller, and let's call it controller. You can think of the character controller as the motor that drives our player. What we need to do is tell the motor where to go. Let's also create some kind of speed variable. Let's create a public float speed, and let's default it to
actually there's some music in this. I can just play it in background.
Something like 6. Now with this we can go into our update method, and the first thing we want to do is gather some input. Now Unity is currently working on a new input system. The old one is still going to be working for quite a while, and that's what we're going to be using in this video. But if you're having issues, definitely check out our video on the new input system in case the old one is deprecated.
Wait, a new video?
Now I want to be able to move around using VAST and arrow keys. Let's go ahead and get some horizontal and vertical input. I'll write float, horizontal, and let's set this equal to input.getAxis raw. We're going to be using the raw axis because we don't want any kind of input smoothing, we just want the raw input. And let's input in here the horizontal axis. Let's do the same thing with vertical. Again, input.getAxis raw, and we'll input vertical. So as always, the horizontal axis is going to go between -1 and 1. It's going to be a -1 if you press the A key or the left arrow key, and +1 if you press D or right arrow. And the same thing for vertical, but with the W and S keys or up and down arrows instead. We then go ahead and create a vector 3 here, which is going to store our direction.
Already
set this equal to a
way
new vector 3,
different than the
where we
other
first
one.
input our horizontal, we then input 0 for the y-axis, and then the vertical. And of course, the reason why we are doing it this way is that if we go into Unity, we want to move our character, if we have a look from the top here, on the X and Z axis, but we don't want to move it on the Y. And just to make sure that if we hold down 2 keys and go diagonally, that we don't move faster, let's go ahead and normalize this. Then we can check if we're moving in any direction by going if direction.magnitude, so the length of our direction vector, is greater than or equal to 0.1. Well, in that case, we're getting some input to move. And we can actually go ahead and move our character by simply going controller.move. Here we'll input the direction, we'll multiply with speed, and multiply with time delta time in order to make it frame rate independent. And if we save this and go into Unity, we now need to drag in our character controller here. We can set the speed to whatever we want, and if we play, we can start moving in the different directions. Awesome. As you can see, this is currently completely independent of where our camera is pointing, so we definitely need to have it orient towards the camera. And also, our player currently isn't rotating to face the direction that he's currently traveling.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. At least for me, or for my purposes. Yeah. Hello, Jeff. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well as well, so I hope you do too.
To fix this, let's first point our player towards the direction that he's moving. To do this, we need to take the direction and figure out how much we should rotate our player on the y-axis to point in that direction. And we do that using the
I'm comparing tutorials to see which one I can use best. But I also want to see the differences between the one that I've used and this one and see how different it is. And this is already really different.
Now that might sound pretty complicated, but in reality it's actually fairly simple if we just visualize it. So here's a coordinate system. This represents our scene, seen from above, with our player in the center. The dotted line here is the direction we would like our player to point in. We can use the a10-2 function, giving it first the y and then the x coordinate of our direction to get the angle from the x-axis to the vector. However, this assumes that our rotation starts at 0 at the x-axis and then increases counterclockwise. But in Unity, our character will have a rotation of 0 when he's pointing forward, and from here it increases clockwise. To take this into account, we simply pass in the x first, then the y coordinate, and voila, we have the angle we need. And if we have a look at our script, that's exactly what we've done. We take the a10-2 function, pass in the x coordinate, and then the y coordinate of our direction. Now this will give us an angle in radians, so let's just go ahead and multiply this with mathf.radians 2 degrees in order to convert it into degrees, and now we have the angle that we want to use. So let's set our rotation by going transform.rotation equal to quaternion.euler, and this allows us to input the numbers, the rotation around our x, y, and z. So let's put 0. Around our y, we'll use the target angle, and around the z, we'll use 0 as well. And whoops, it looks like we used the direction.y here. That's of course 0. Instead, we need to use the z-axis here. There we go. And right away we see that our player rotates to face the direction that he's traveling. Of course, he currently snaps really quickly into place. Let's just go ahead and add some smoothing to this. Let's create a variable to adjust this called public float. Turn smooth time and set it equal to something like 0.1 by default. And for this we can use a function called the smooth damp angle. So down here, before we apply our rotation, let's create another float called angle and set it equal to mathf.smooth damp angle. Here we input our current angle, which is transform.euler angles.y, our target angle, which is our target angle variable, and then we need to give it a reference to a variable that can hold our current smooth velocity. And this is just a private variable that we create at the top here. So let's create a float, turn smooth velocity, and all we type down here is ref turn smooth velocity, and the function will handle the rest. And finally, we input our smooth time. So let's put in our turn smooth time. Now this function is definitely a bit weird, but it's a great way of smoothing numbers and particularly angles inside of Unity. So if we now put in our angle here,
okay, wait. So from what I gather of this boatload of information is that this thing is specifically designed for a character that moves towards the direction it's moving to, which is not that I want. So if I follow this tutorial, then it's not going to do the thing that I wanted to do. So that's a bit of a tricky. Let's see if I want to make a... Oh, I think I know what it is. I mean, the video says third-person shooter or third-person movement, but it's more like a platformer movement if the character moves the direction where it's going. think what I'm looking for is over the shoulder movement. Like for example, in Dead Space, this is a pretty good example. Isaac is always facing wherever the camera is looking at, or I think the same in Resident Evil. Leon is always looking at where the camera is looking at. Let me try looking for that instead. Third person over the shoulder? Third person shooter Unity tutorial. This thing is... Okay, that looks more like it.
Yeah, what's going on?
This video is 4 years old.
Hi everyone, it's Gad here. In this little series, I'm going to be showing you how you can make this third-person character controller. And you can see we can run in all the directions and walk in all the directions and stuff. So this first episode is just going to be about having a character walk around, which we're just going to use a capsule for, have gravity, and then also have the camera working. The second episode is going to be about blend trees, so we can get the animations working. And then the third episode, we're going to tie everything together by writing our own finite state machines for like walking states and running states, which is something that's really useful to learn if you don't know how to do it already.
Alright.
Because it makes it a lot easier to maintain and add to your code. So without further ado, let's just get into this. Quick side note as well, after I've finished recording this video, I forgot to mention this, we can add a Cinemachine collider onto the virtual camera. If you don't know what this is, don't worry, I'll explain it later on. But we can collide against, we set the layers we want to collide against, so when I play this and I back up against the wall, you can see that it's going to bring the camera forward, so we can't clip through the wall. Alright, so now we're in the new scene. First thing we're going to do is just add a terrain, so under 3D objects and terrain. Set the position to -500 on the X and -500 on the Z.
Why minus?
So it's centered. And then we're going to add in a capsule for the player. You can add in your own player now, but I'm just doing this and I'm going to go on to the character in the next episode. So what I'm going to do here is just add a character controller component. Set the skin width to 0, and then the center and the radius and height is already perfect for this capsule, so you might want to change it if you've got your own one. And then, so what I'm going to do now is add a component, and this is just going to be the movement state manager. And like I said in the beginning...
Movement state manager. Okay. Let me take a look at what I have. So this is a setup from the other one. Maybe I don't need to delete anything yet, but maybe I can make like some changes in the script to make it move more like the other one. I call it the TPS controller, like third person shooter controller, but alright, I'll see if I can mimic this one.
In this episode, this is going to be on the third episode, but we're just starting it now, but we don't actually, it's nothing to do with states.
Oh god, what is this? What is he using? Oh, that is my Visual Studio. It just looks very classic. Mine looks like this. Can I make the background dark? Actually, let's just focus. Let's just focus.
So at the moment, this is going to be simple movement and some gravity. Alright, so now in the script we're going to need a few variables, and then the first one is going to be a public float for the move speed. And I'm just going to set this to 3. And then also we're going to need some inputs, so we're going to have a float for the horizontal input, and then also for the vertical input. And then I'm going to have a hide and inspector, public, vector 3. And then this is because of the states, we're going to need this direction in the other states, so it needs to be public. And then just call this direction, or and then finally we just need the character controller. Call this controller, and then get it in the start. We're going controller equals get component, and it's going to be the character controller. So now I'm just going to make a new function down at the bottom and call this get direction and move. There we go. And then so in here, first of all, we're just going to get the inputs. So if we go horizontal input equals input.getAxis, and the name is horizontal. I'm going to duplicate this by pressing Ctrl D, and then change this one to vertical, and then also change this to the vertical input here. And so to get the direction, we're just going to equal to the transform.forward times the vertical input, and then add the transform.right, and then times that by the horizontal input. So this way we're always moving relative to the way we're facing. And finally we can move it by just going controller.move in the direction, times this by the move speed, and then times this by time.delta time, so it's frame rate independent. Now in the update we can just type in get direction and move. Now if we play this, we'll be able to walk around. So as you can see, this is working nicely, we can move in all directions. So next we need some gravity, because if we lift up the player and we play it, you can see he's just floating around. This is quite easy to add in. Alright, to add the gravity, what we need is a few more variables. The first one is going to be a float for the ground Y offset, because we're going to have a sphere cast, and then we need to be able to determine how far up or down it goes, and then we're going to make this a serialized field, so we can set in the inspector. And then next, what we need to have also is a serialized field for a layer mask, and it's going to be called the ground mask. And then we also need a vector 3, and this is going to be the sphere position.
I am very tempted to just delete everything in my script and just do whatever he's doing. Alright. I'm gonna.
So now we can do a ground check to see if the player's on the ground or not. So we know where
take
to have gravity.
about
So we can
5
make a function
minutes.
that returns the ball, and then call this is grounded. And then in here, what we need to do first is set the sphere position. So the sphere position is going to equal to the new vector 3, which is going to be the transform.position.x. And then I'm just going to copy this, paste it, make it the y, and then paste it again for the z. But we want to have the ground y offset, so we're going to minus the ground y offset in there. And then to do the check, what we need to do is if physics.checkSphere.
Wait a minute. Is he doing like a rigid body or a character controller? No, he's doing a character controller. Okay.
From the sphere position, and the radius is going to be the controller.radius, and we're going to minus 0.05, and this is just so.
So you've got source control set up, you could set up in a new Prancer test. I don't have anything set up like that. But because I'm like at the very beginning of the Unity project, it doesn't really matter if I lose the current progress that I have, because there's just barely anything that I have. Other than the character, I don't really care what happened to the movement. I can always just update it. If I'm really far into the development, then yeah, I might have to set up a source control. How the hell do I even do that? I haven't really looked into that. Ugh.
It doesn't stick out the player at all, and we can't stand next to a wall if things are grounded, and then you'll be able to just keep on jumping up the wall. Obviously we don't want that. And then the ground mask, and if this returns true, we're going to return true, and then else, we're just going to return false. So now we can actually add the gravity, so make a new function here called gravity.
Let me put on my game face.
And then we need a few more variables for this. So the first one is going to be a serialized field, this will be a float of gravity, which is going to equal minus 9.81, because this is the acceleration of gravity on Earth in meters per second squared. The next thing we're going to need is
specific.
a vector 3 for the velocity. And I think that's it, we'll find out. So what we need to check is if we're not, it is grounded. What we want to do is have the velocity.y plus equal gravity. Times this by time dot delta time. And then else, if the velocity.y is less than 0, which means we've been falling, we want to reset it. So we go velocity.y equals minus 2. And this is just so when we hit the ground, it gives that extra force still, just so it always touches the ground.
Recommend doing it anyhow. It's easy and helpful for stuff like this to compare. Git's probably the easiest and least friction. Git. I'll have to look into Git in that case. Is GitHub, you mean? It's the only thing I can think of. Oh boy. Alright, I'll try not to forget about that.
It's nice and snug, and doesn't float when it's meant to be on the ground. And now we can add the gravity, let's go in controller, dot move by the velocity, and then times it by time, dot delta time once again, just so it's squared, like I said it's meters per second squared for gravity. And then under the update, under the get direction, we're just going to call gravity function. And now there's a few things to set this up. First is the ground y offset, we need to know where the sphere should be, so it makes sense for us to be able to see the sphere. So what we need to do there is just type in void on draw gizmos, and then set the color to gizmos.color equals color dot red. And then we're going to go gizmos.draw y sphere, and then we're just going to copy this check sphere up until the 0.05, paste that in, close that off. So now we can check. As you can see, we'll get some errors in the console. That's because the sphere position doesn't get set until the update, and then on-draw gizmos gets run in edit mode. So if we go in here, we can see the sphere in the middle of the capsule. So I'm just going to set this to 0.6, that's because I know that's going to work. And you can see the sphere, it's going under the ground a little bit. But at the moment, this isn't going to work still. You can see it falling really fast. This is because we haven't set the ground mask. So I'm just going to set this to 0.6 again. And then I already have a ground layer. So you want to go on the terrain, add a layer, type in ground, go back on the terrain and set the layer to ground, go on the capsule and set the ground mask to the ground. So
this is a lot to
you can see
take
it falling
in.
nice and slow. We pick it up and it's still falling at a nice speed. Alright, so you can change this if you want it to fall a bit faster, because it does seem quite slow when it's normal. But now we can go ahead and add in the camera. So to do that, we're just going to right click on the player and then set a camera follow position, which I'm going to move up and right a little bit, just so the player's not blocking the view. And then so now we need Cinemachine, and to get that you just go on Window, Package Manager, make sure you're on the Unity registry, scroll down to Cinemachine and hit install. When it's done you'll get this menu pop up, we click on here and we want to create a virtual camera. So what we want
Every single tutorial so far uses Cinemachine.
to do here
It is
is get the camera follow
essential.
position to be the follow and the look at. And then we want to change this body to third person follow and its aim to do nothing. And I'm going to set the shoulder offset to 0 because we've already got the offset, and set the damping all to 0 as well. So now to get it to actually rotate the player and the camera, it's actually really simple. We just need to go on the capsule or your player, add a new script, which I'm going to call the aim state manager.
Oh.
Because after the third episode, if anyone wants me to do more in depth with aiming and shooting and stuff, we'll be using this aim state manager. So I'll create an ad, open it up in Visual Studio, and then we're just going to need 3 variables
With aim state manager. Oh, right. He's making a third-person shooter, so aim state's probably like for ADS or like aiming down the sight, like in Dead Space, for example. But, I'm gonna keep watching. Maybe I can ignore this section.
In here, the first being after we had the using cinemachine. It's going to be a public cinemachine dot axis state, and then we're going to call this the x input or the x axis, and then also we want to have one for the y axis. So if you don't know what this is basically the cinemachine's like kind of input and input handlers type of thing. So in the update we need to update this like x axis dot update, and then in here we just want time dot delta time, just so every frame gets updated, and the same for the y. And then finally in the late update, what we want to do is get the we need a reference to the camera follow position as well. So serialize field transform cam follow pos. In the late update, get the cam follow pos dot local ULAT angles equal to. I'm just going to copy this to save me some time later. A new vector 3, and then this is going to be the x-axis dot. Actually, no, this is going to be the y-axis dot value. And I'll show you why we're doing this later on. And then, so after this, we're going to have the cam follow position dot local ULAT angles dot y, and then finally the same but for the z. And then next to rotate the player, we just need to do the transform dot ULAT angles equal this to a new vector 3, which is going to be the transform dot ULAT angles dot x, and then this we're going to have the x-axis dot value, and then finally the transform dot ULAT angles dot z. So now this should all be working, but we need to fill in some things in axis states. So here's the max speed, which I'm going to set to 300, which is like the sensitivity. The input axis name for the x-axis, we want mouse x with a capital X, and the same for the mouse y, we just want mouse y. And here the minimum value, we want minus 180 and 180, and we want it to wrap, just so we can go the whole way around.
Yeah.
And the y-axis.
Rooftop Green is writing. Oh gosh. Well, for the raid. Thank you for the raid. I mean. Hello, I'm known as Axia Genome, and welcome to my humble abode. I play horror games, fun games, art streams, and and right now I'm I'm watching tutorials about how to make games. But yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome raiders. What were you up to? We were doing some Warhammer 40k Dark Pet. Oh, the Twitch.tv says rooftop_Korean. Go check it out. But as usual, whenever someone writes into me, they launch a counterattack. Let's see. I'm gonna pick one at random. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Goodness gracious, thank you for the raid. Raiders, if you need to be somewhere, don't let me keep you, and do take care of yourself. Drink some food, eat some water, and take a nap. Or have a nap. Yeah, thank you so much for the raid. And congratulations on 3 stream streak. 3! Alright, I'm gonna go back into the game. Or trying to at least. Nuts. How did your stream go? I hope it went well.
What we want is to have invert input and have about like minus 60, 60, and then we just have follow position on that. So what this does is when we move the value, we get a value in these axes, and this is just going straight into the rotations. So you can see we can look up and down, it gets clamped to the minus 60 and the 60, and we can spin around the whole way. And if I move my mouse while I'm walking forward,
Many
you can see
heretics,
that it just moves the way we're facing.
nice.
So that's it for this video. If you want to see more and learn about some blend trees and state machines, that'll be the next 2 episodes. If you enjoyed this video, you know, if you could give it a like and leave a comment if you want me to do more in-depth ones after about shooting and like damage and things like that to other players. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. So what's going on, everyone?
Oh wow, that was instant. Oh, it's a playlist, I see. Alright. At the moment, I'm trying to make this character move. As a psyker, I've touched by warp many times, even though I didn't want to. Come on. Camera's acting really funky. Stop it. Oh, this is so annoying. Why does it do that? Okay, now there we go. Now it's working. Oh, god damn! Yeah, this is why I'm following tutorials. But yeah, the character's moving, can jump, but it's not really good at all. Like the camera is very jittery. I really don't know why that is, so I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. That's a start. Ugh. Ugh, sorry, I got to yawn. Never played Dark Knight. Might have to give it a try, but I don't think I'm gonna do it or having the time to do so. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay, how do I exit? There you go. Can I? I'll just duplicate you. Can I scale you down? I can. I will lurk. So 3.5 in the morning. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the lurk, and yeah, thank you once again for the raid. Have fun doing the effort. I will, or at least I'm gonna try to. But yeah, take care. Take care. It's good to see you again. Many errors. Oh, I see. Wait, but why? Okay, I gotta shove this thing downwards. No, not too close. It's in the character. Scale this like so. Wow, it just stuck to the wall. Wow, you can do wall jumps with this mechanic. That is so weird. Yeah, I'm gonna change this entire thing. This is not working out for me. Actually, wait. What if I delete the entire character script? Where is it? Rigid body. Oh yeah, this thing is using a rigid body, which I probably shouldn't be using. Where? Okay, there it is. There we go. And nothing is gonna be used. Let me pull this guy back up again. Wait, what's this song called? Meeting for Becca. This is from Resident Evil 1.
Scad here. In this video, it's going to be the second part of the... Yo, what's going on everyone? Scad here. In this little series, I'm going to be showing you how you can make this third-person character controller. And you can see we can run in all the directions, get under 3D object. You can add just so it's centered, and then we're going to add in a capsule for the player. You can add in your own player now, but I'm just doing this and I'm going to go on to the character in the next episode. So what I'm going to do here is just add a character controller component, set the skin width to 0, and then the center and the radius and the height is already perfect for this capsule. So you might want to change if you've got your own one. And then, so what I'm going to do now is add a component, and this is just going to be the movement state manager. And like I said in the beginning of this episode, this is going to be on the third episode that we're just starting now. But we begin in this the movement state manager. And like I said in the beginning of this episode, this is going to be on the third episode that we're just starting now. But we don't actually, it's nothing to do with states at the moment. This is going to be simple movement and some gravity. Alright, so now in the script we're going to need a few variables. And then the first one is going to be a public float for the move speed.
I'm gonna hold this thing right there. Oh god. Okay, let me put that away. I'm just gonna type out whatever he's doing. let's see. Public class. Actually, let me delete this. Okay, there we go. Public float move speed equals what?
And I'm just going to set this to 3. And then also we're going to need some inputs, so we're going to have a float for the horizontal input, and then also for the vertical input. And then I'm going to have a hidden inspector, public, vector 3, and then this is because of the states, we're going to need this direction. And
okay, let me start from here. Wait, did I get a DM? I gotta check this. I did not actually. Okay, there we go. Gotta make sure, just in case someone needs to say something very important to me. Oh, you guys can see this? Yes. Move speed equals 3. Height in an expector. No, not serialized field. Public vector tree. Float 8z input and v input. Start is good. Called before the first frame update. Oh, right, I had this highlighted. That comes void start. Wait, is that capital S or it is capital? Void start. Update is called once per frame. Void. Oh wait, capital U. There you go.
in other states, so it needs to be public. And then just call this direction, well, dir.
There. Alright, you got it.
And then finally we just need the character controller. Call this controller.
Character controller. Alright. Float inputs. Underneath that is the character controller.
And then get it in the start by going controller.
Just character controller. And in void start controller
Equals get component. And it's going to be the character controller.
Alright, see it. Controller equals get component character controller.
So now I'm just going to make a new function down at the bottom and call this get direction and move.
At the bottom, alright. Void get direction and move. I think that's alright.
There we go. And then so in here, first of all, we're just going to get the inputs. So if we go horizontal input equals input.getAxis, and the name is horizontal. I'm going to duplicate this by pressing Ctrl D, and then change this one to vertical, and then also change this to the vertical input here.
Let me try that. it's the input equals input dot get access horizontal. Control D and then turn this into vertical and this to B input.
And so to get the direction, we're just going
That's actually really useful to learn.
The transform.forward times the vertical input, and then add the transform.right, and then times that by the horizontal input. So this way we're always moving relative to the way we're facing. And finally we can move it.
Wait, hang on, okay. Dir equals transform dot forward times the input plus transform dot right times horizontal input. Alright.
By just going controller.move in the direction, times this by the move speed, and then times this by time, delta time, so it's frame rate independent.
Wait. And controller will capital M move. Dir times move speed times time dot delta time.
Now in the update, we can just type in get direction and move. Now if we play this,
Oh wait,
direction and move.
get direction and move. Alright, you got it. Let's see how well this is going to hold up. Compiling scripts. It doesn't move. It doesn't move. Oh god. Oh, I tried. So why doesn't it move?
Now if we play this, we'll be able to walk around. So as you can see, this is working nicely.
No, it's not. Wait, what am I missing? Okay, let me put this on screen. So I did exactly what it says in here.
Independent. Now in the update, we can just type in get direction and move. Now if we play this, we'll be able to.
Oh wait, I think I get it. Let me try. This way. There's a script. I might have to redo the entire character. I mean, the script is already there. I just need to redo the thing. Oh, there it is. In the valid operation exception, you are trying to read input using the Unity Engine input class, but you have switched active input handling to input system packets in player settings. That's right, he didn't even specify the input. So why does it work for him?
Walk around. So as you can see, this is working nicely. We can move in all directions. Alright, so now we're in the new scene. First thing we're going to do is add a terrain. So add a 3D object to terrain. Set the position to -500 on the X and -500 on the Z, just so it's centered. And then we're going to add in a capsule for the player. You can add in your own player now, but I'm just doing this and I'm going to go on to the character in the next episode. So what I'm going to do here is just add a character controller component. Set the skin width
Character controller component.
to 0, and then the center and the radius and height is already perfect for this capsule. So you might want to change it if you've got your own one. And then so what I'm going to do now is add a component, and this is just going to be the movement state manager. And like I said in the beginning of this episode, this is going to be on the 3rd episode that we're just starting now, but we don't actually, it's nothing to do with. Alright, so now we're in the new scene. First thing we're going to do is just add a terrain, so add a 3D object to terrain. set the position to -500 on the X and -500 on the Z, just so it's centered. And then we're going to add in a capsule for the player. You can add in your own player now, but I'm just doing this and I'm going to go on to the character in the next episode. So what I'm going to do here is just add a character controller component, set the skin width to 0, and then this...
Yeah, this is a character controller, okay. So what did I do in here? It has a capsule collider, and it has a rigid body. Can I remove a component? Okay, it's gone. There you go. Can I move this up? I can, okay.
Center and the radius and the height is already perfect for this capsule. Set the skin width to 0, and then the center and the radius and height is already perfect for this capsule. So you might want to change it if you've got your own one. And then, so what I'm going to do now is add a component, and this is just going to be the movement state manager. And like I said in the beginning of this episode, this is going to be on the 3rd episode, but we're just starting now.
This is not gonna work at all. Yeah, I didn't think so. Alright, how do I change that? Active input handling to input system packets and player settings. Alright, where can I find the player settings? Oh boy. This entire setup is a mess. Oh wait, there it is. Player input. Okay, what do I need to do? Yo, Silverbuster. Welcome for some chatter. How's the development going? Very, very slow, but it's better to just start now than way later down the line, I feel. So what I'm trying to do is... Can I show this? No, I can't. Okay, I can. What you're seeing right now, this is Unreal Engine 5. And I'm not really happy with going forward with this project in Unreal Engine. So I'm trying to convert everything that you see here into Unity. But that also means I have to start from the very beginning. Learning Unity for starters. Oh boy. Like I can fly, I can drop down, no problem. But I have no idea how to translate all of this into Unity. Sorry, I should introduce myself. I forgot I was lurking last time. I thought the channel points when I've been here. Oh, it's no problem, no problem. But good to see you. Good to see you, good to see you. Not a problem. So can I maybe... Alright. I can pick these up. And shoot them. Wait, how do I... Oh, right. Those buttons. Oh god, it's lagging. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a challenge. The thing about the Unreal Engine is the NPCs... Wait, can I reload? I can't. The NPCs tend to get stuck to it together. And I don't know how to fix that. And there's like a whole bunch of other problems that I'm having with Unreal Engine. I also want to make an item that I can carry along with me, but the item itself is also a bit wonky. Ugh. Yeah, I really have no idea how to fix that. I mean, I can pick this one up, no problem. I can set it down. I can pick this guy and toss it somewhere. I can grab this guy, but he needs to be damaged first before I can do it. Oh, he died. Oopsie daisy. I can steal his gun though. Maybe, Oh, I got him. I can smack him against the wall. So that all of that works. But I have no idea how to do that in Unity. I figured I start slow, trying to get the movement down. Maybe I can animate it as well. It doesn't have animation. It just switches between states. Like it slides forward, slides backward, sideways, or slides faster. So yeah, I don't need to redo the animation. I just need to make it work in Unity. So the first step is, well, you know, oh, excuse me, there we go. Make it move good. It doesn't need to be similar or exactly the same, but make it move good. Switch to Unity and switch to Godot for simplicity's sake. UE is good for graphics open stuff, but lacks in documentation expects you to throw around spaghetti while you're programming. Exactly! UE5 also came out in a really sorted state. Yeah. I think I probably would have been better off sticking to Unreal Engine 4 instead. But I figured, you know what, I might as well just learn Unity. Because I'm not gonna do a lot of the fancy stuff that Unreal Engine provides. I just want to make a 3D game, and I don't think I need Unreal Engine 5 to achieve the things that I want to achieve. And now it's not moving at all because it's, what was it again? Read input using the UT Engine input class. But I switched to an active input handling to input system packaging. Oh, right. Yeah, because I'm following this guy's tutorial, but I realized he doesn't use the same input settings that I have. So now this whole thing falls apart. Against UV, since I load Epic for their creativity banquet. Game designers in Fortnite, they already have enough billions of dollars. I don't care much about Epic Games. I like Unreal Engine for what it can do. I managed to make something work using Unreal Engine blueprinting alone, which is really neat. But I can't. I can't make it do the stuff that I wanted to do. And yeah, like you said, there's no solid documentation on how to do it. There's plenty of tutorials, at least on YouTube, but that's pretty much it. But when it comes to actual scripting and programming in C#, I can't do anything on my own, at least. I have pretty much... No, I don't want to say zero experience, because I have done scripting before, but not to this level. Like, I'm not even a junior scripter. Hang on, let me take a sip of water. I'm a bit thirsty. It's just not having a better store. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, the Epic Games Store. Hey, they're very nice on giving you 5 free assets every month, but I stopped keeping track of it because I'm not using any of the assets anyway. For using the stuff, I make it a principle to never use things from companies that are significantly immoral that are despised. Fair enough. I don't like Adobe, but I still use Photoshop. What song is this? Oh, this is Persona 2. Wait, am I allowed to play this? The music, I mean. Anyway, yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Learning the bare minimum of Unity just to make something move around, and maybe make a whole game out of it. But that's my goal. I don't think I'll be able to do it within a year. It's something that I was hoping to do, but I got to start somewhere. I could keep the stuff in Unreal Engine and then maybe switch over to Unreal Engine 4 instead, because you really don't need UE5. It's bloated. It just doesn't fit me, I guess. CSP rest double charging family for... Oh lordy, even after good. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. That whole mess. Good lord, what were they thinking with that subscription model? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm happy that you switched to CSP. So what am I going to do now?
But we don't actually, it's nothing to do with states at the moment. This is going to be...
Oh boy. I'm gonna try another third-person shooter, third-person tutorial. hell is... No, I'm not gonna click on that. I see like some weird YouTube shorts on the side. I really try not to get distracted. Shoulder switching. No, I don't need that. Third person movement in 11 minutes. Yeah, but it doesn't really show me how to do it. Cinemachine Pro camera. Like The Last of Us. What? Cinematic. Oh, hang on. Oh god, that is loud. Hello again, guys. We create cinematic. Hang on. Wait. Did you see that? Okay, how do I... Okay, there we go. After a long time, we create cinematic third-person character movement. This is promising. Like The Last of Us. Don't skip the VADO until its end. I mean, it might be useful. This video is only like 9 months old. Only ever had one account, even when calls give up temporarily. Switch over to another email. Ended up being... They're tricked to charge us twice for one thing. Ah, that sucked. I'm gonna assume... I have a lot of assumptions, but I want to know if this is a self-tutorial on how to make something work. I mean, the stuff in the background looks solid. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a drone, I think. Actually, there's no talking, so I'm just gonna use this music instead. I guess that's why this guy isn't speaking, because he's probably not like very good with English, so he decided to just use text instead, which is fine. Oh boy, an amazing controller. Uh-huh. I'm really curious about the input. That's what I want to know. Wait, it's so fast. Create script for player movement. Uh-huh. Wait. Okay, what if I do this? Probably like faster. Wait, hang on. Okay, Cinemachine is spelled correctly in here. Core component type of animator. They must be doing it on purpose, right? It's probably like someone that's not a native English speaker. That's why there's so many grammar and spelling mistakes. I mean, they spelled Cinemachine camera correctly and virtual camera. So maybe there's something to it. Main issue with tutorials like these is to show off their code, but never talk about why they use it. Press keys or whatever saying really fits. It was often using things wrong, including using linear interpolation or character controllers. Yeah, unless you are a programmer or know how to set something up, then these type of tutorials might not be very clear. Some people do explain why they do the things they do. Like, for example, the other guy that I was like watching earlier, he did explain why he what was it again? Like certain stuff that he was working on, like a certain bit of code. thing is, it's easier to learn than to teach, if that makes sense. Like, how do you teach someone to see the things that you're seeing, or to know the things that you know? But I guess that's where the explanation thing comes in. Movement input equals new vector 2, input x, input y. Okay, so this guy also doesn't use the input stuff from the other tutorials that I've seen. I think he's using the standard Unity input settings, maybe. And as a boolean, moving and sprinting. Huh? Trying to learn since it was 14. Doesn't allow videos and soon to be taken on and off. No applicable knowledge or flexible in code application. I'm more of an artist. Like, anything art related I can do. I can even teach. But when it comes to coding, I am like a fish out of water. Oh, take a panic. Welcome. How's it going? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Programming is hard, but I'm learning little by little. Like, I gotta try. I gotta at least take the first steps. Like fish on dry land. Like, try evolving to survive on dry land like a billion years ago. Coding takes a different thought process. Yeah, it's like the... Well, let me just take a short break. Let me take a short break. What was it? Left and right brain. It's gotta be like a... Yeah, there it is. Let me see if I can put this on screen. Very solid minute. Just gonna use this folder. Let's say placeholder. But I told her. Alright, there you go. It's something like this. I'm using mainly my right brain because anything related to art I can do. But when it comes to calculations and programming and coding and all that kind of fancy stuff, I am at a loss. Like making animations, 3D models, textures, hell, I can even rig a 3D character if I really need to. Weight painting, texturing. What's the other one? I know different styles of animation, like motion tweening, for example, or just stop motion a little bit. But it's really tricky. I can do. I could probably make a Zoe trope if what I did with Star Sector a while back. But I'm mostly using frame by frame, using the what was it again? Damn, this is my brain at full capacity. Ace Attorney, that's the name of the game. Like Ace Attorney style animations. That I can do. But programming, no, yeah, that's a different beast. Ugh. But I gotta try. Keep training, it's like writing, you need to keep practicing. Yeah. Clear half above artistic talents. Oh gosh, thank you. And a range of variables, I've seen your models actually put for static PNG. It's actually a GIF animation. Parts must have been super complex. Not really. It's actually really easy to do. I have a really good example. Is the thing that I made. There it is. Does this show up on stream? Give me a sec. It's loading up. Okay, there you go. It booted up. Alright, it doesn't show up. Because Unity's in the way. Okay, there we go. So I saw Faltier's new static PNG and I thought, maybe I can animate this by cutting up the pieces. So I did. I even animated the smoke. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of the smoke. Won't be needing that. this is the head. It's really easy actually. I just had to select the head like so, and then cut it out so it's a separate object. You can even see the imprints of where I got cut it out. So I had to go to the body, I think it's this one, and then color in or fill in the spaces that's blank. For this part, I had to like draw it extra because it was missing. Because the head was in a way. So we got all these different. Wait, what? There we go. Right arm, body lower. Oh shit! I think I forgot to merge these. Did I? I did. Oh, but it still came out nicely. Oops. And after that, I just shift them after each frame. Frame 3 is pretty much the same as frame 1. The only thing that's different is the mouth movement. And after all that, I exported it, and this is what it looks like. Wow. Smoke was a bit tricky though, but I did manage to make it work. I'd rather do this than to look at code. Like this is my element. Like this is where I excel at. I think I'm making like a tutorial series on how to make a animated PNG or animated GIF out of a static PNG. Because it started with this, and I had to just cut it out separately. But then how do you get rid of the smoke if this all one layer? Well, I just color picked this and then went to town like this. That's my process. I mean, there's probably like an easy way to do it. Like there's a Photoshop trick. You just maybe select the parts that matters. 5. Actually, let's make that 11. Color pick this and do this. Yeah, that'll do it. It looks a bit messy, but I don't know. I'm not doing this for to make it pretty yet. Like this is me doing it at a low effort. What I also could do is there's like a soft gradient in here, so what you could try to make it look pretty. Select this and just do this. Yeah, and kind of works. Then you grab the smudge tool. Shrink this down a little bit. And smudge it out so you don't see the seams in it. And do that for the entire section. Cut them all apart. Like, maybe separate this item because you don't. If you want to add movement, you have to like decide which one is going to be stretchy and which one is going to be static. So if this was like a flexible material, you can like stretch it like this in the animation. But if you want to keep it static, you can just like move it up and down instead. The chest, for example, is very stretchy here. So I'm just gonna cut this entire thing. Oh, excuse me. My hand is jittery. Alright, so you have a separate object. You could use the warp tool, which is Control T on Photoshop, and pressing this button here. So now you can warp. So you can make it bounce if it's like a bouncy animation, or you just can just do crazy stuff. Or just stretch it like this instead. And that's kind of what I did with, let's see, this one. It only has like 3 frames of up and down animation. There you go. And there's only like one instance where she blinks. Blink, and that's it. I think I separated the top body and the bottom body So whenever I scale this one down, I'll scale this one up. So it just looks a bit nicer to me. What was I talking about? Oh, right, coding. Yeah, sure. This way, this way, this. I can close this down. Also, I made the background that you're looking at right now. It's also a GIF animation instead of a separate thing. I set it at a high frame rate, so it looks smooth. But also have, let's see, this one. This is a very simple animation. By controlling this, the length of time which frame displays. So it's a very low frame rate in some places, and then in the transition, it switches to a very fast frame rate. But you don't really notice that. It just looks natural. This one. This one is a continuous loop. Cool. Yeah, thank you. I could make the text a bit jittery, but I think it looks nicer if it's like, just like this. And that's how I make the animation, like, And now I'm trying to use this animation power to make a video game. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of a challenge, but I have to try. There we go. I've worked in Unity before, but I haven't touched the coding side of Unity. And the movement doesn't work because once again, oh, you guys can see this. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Now you guys can see. Read input using the Unity engine input class. Switch to active input handling to input system package. Yeah, I gotta look into that. So what I'm doing right now is try to look for a tutorial that I can kind of follow. It's Tree. Funny you mentioned that. Okay, fine. I guess I can show that. Let's see. Oh boy. Right now, let me close down the music. Forward. Yeah, okay, there we go. The overlay is directly inspired by Ace Combat 3 specifically. So you can see a lot of similarities with this. Like down from the UI elements. Yep, there it is. You have a good eye. I always liked the UI designs of early 2000s Capcom because it's so weird looking. When I first saw this, it just looks so weird to me, but at the same time, it's very interesting because I've never seen anything like this before. Like no other game or movie has UI like this. Maybe Star Trek, arguably, because it also has a very distinct UI design in the show. But something like this, it's really interesting. Oh boy, this is a Ubisoft music from Rayman. That UI is burned in my brain. Art, animation, texturing, painting, weight painting as well. You can do character design, environment design, vehicle design. What else? UI design. Fuck it, let's put that into the mix. Not that well, but I can get the idea behind it. Wait, what is this? Oh, this is the animation setup. Let's see. It was really good. Info compressed and clear visualize. Yeah. Maybe we should make a 2D game instead, because 3D is really difficult. No, I have to commit. It's very interesting that this guy uses blend type stuff. What about the movement input? I'm still looking for the movement. Wait, what? Go back. Oh, because it uses the Unity movement system or setup. All roads lead to Rome, as they say. I mean, you did make a... Yeah, no, there's no movement input at all. Oh. Alright, what's the end result? Yeah, I mean, it works. It's cinematic, a bit jank, but it depends on how you make it, I guess. Can I use any of this? Not really. Is your player moving nice? Yeah, it is moving nice. Oh god, the camera's so shaky. So thank you for watching my video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe and comment your feedbacks. I got nothing that I can add to this. I shouldn't add anything to this because I'm not a what was that? Oh. Alright, let's see what else I can find. Maybe I should call this a just chatting stream because I'm not really making any progress. Kind of hot in here. I'm gonna turn off the AC. There you go. Right. Let me look further. I was looking at this. Yeah, this also doesn't really work well, but after seeing a whole bunch of other tutorials, this probably like maybe one of the better options because this camera isn't jittery. Get private set. Simple movement. Member field. Get forward. Also, I lost the project of this one, but I think I recorded it. Hang on. Solely tinkering on my game once again. I think it's this one. Hey, look, it's my stream. And I'm also watching tutorial videos. Oh man, I'm not really making progress at this at all. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours. That's pretty long. Okay. Trying to find... There it is. Right, I was messing around with the cameras and it just wasn't working right. Yeah, now it looks like Armored Core. Oh, yeah, I remember. So the camera wasn't clamping correctly. So now that I've seen a whole bunch of tutorials, think I get a better idea on how to fix the problem that I had earlier. Oh boy. Should I go back to this? I mean, this tutorial is using a captain control instead of a rigid body. Wait. But we move this distance, keep going until you get there. Alright, so everything is like 5 months old, in the comments at least. Maybe this still works. Alright, let's try this one more time. Project setup, new input system, yeah, I already did that. Get control first rigid body. Input system script. I think you can do this. Alright.
First thing we're going to do is add in our namespace to the file. Again, this isn't required, but since I want to publish this asset for you guys, it's important I do this so there aren't any conflicting file names when people import it. So we created a namespace using the same path as our file structure. We need to initialize our player controls input, so make a public player controls property named player controls. Now I want to stop here again real quick and explain a couple things. You'll notice
yeah, this guy actually explains things very well. Like,
first, that this variable has getter and setter methods. This makes it a class property instead of a field. The recommended C# syntax for properties is that you use Pascal case, or that we capitalize the first letter. This makes it a little bit weird because our class and our property have the exact same name, but this is actually a supported feature in C#, and it's even recommended or encouraged to do this if it makes the most sense, which it does here. Now, why am I using a property over just a regular field? I'm going to want to access or get this variable from outside of the class, but I don't want anybody to be able to change this variable from outside of the class. Thus, I've used the private set syntax here, which won't allow us to set its value from outside of the class. It really is that simple. If it didn't make sense to you, don't worry, using a property here is not necessary, it's just more organizationally correct. If you don't want to use a property, by all means, just use a public field instead. We're also going to add in another property of type vector2 named movement input. The next thing we're adding here is an interface to our class. So remember when we generated that C# class for our input? Well, that actually generated an interface for us, which we can add to this class by typing playercontrols.I, which stands for interface, player locomotion map actions. There's a red line under this right now because when we add an interface, we need to implement a specific set of methods for that interface. In Visual Studio, you can automatically generate this method, which is what I'm going to do here. And now we have our onMovement method, which gets called when one of our inputs is used. It will only get called if we enable it though. So let's add the onEnable method, and inside of here, we're going to enable our player controls. Then below that, we're going to specifically enable our player locomotion map that we set up and set callbacks to this class. Let's also add the
player locomotion map that we set up. Oh god, I think I might have to watch this from the beginning. I'm speeding this up at 2 times speed, so 26 minutes becomes like about 13 minutes. So I guess we can try that.
Welcome to the channel, you guys. You are watching a free full course on how to make a modular first-person and third-person controller in Unity. I'm not here to waste time, I'm here to get things done. So before we dive in, here's a quick demo of every single feature we're going to be adding so you can know if this is the right tutorial for you.
Mechanism release system. Learn trees, keyboard mouse input system, slope handling. Probably won't be needing that. But okay, but the part about strafing is interesting, which is something that I do want to add in. Wait, what is this soundtrack?
I hope that inspired you a little bit. Let me just give a quick rundown of what all this is. Now at this point, I know your time is valuable. I know a lot of people will just go ahead and skip the intro, but hear me out for just a sec. Let me just give some advice on how to make the most of your time here. I will be providing the entire project at the end completely for free. So if you're somebody who just wants to download the project and experiment around, I hear you, I support you. I will have a demo video that helps you do that at the end. But please remember, I have spent over 100 hours on this series. I'm releasing this for free. So if you guys are going to download the source code, just please help me out. Give this video a like, subscribe, and consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. And as of right now, I actually only have 1 Patreon member and 2 YouTube members. Shout out to them. Now for those of you who want to learn a ton about C#, Unity, and player controller development, I would highly recommend watching this series and trying to recreate what I do as you go. If you ever have any bugs that you can't figure out, I will have the source code uploaded for each part, so you can always just download that at the end and pick up where we left off in the next part. If you guys have any questions or feedback, drop a comment below. And with that, let's start this game dev journey. I know some of you are just starting out in Unity, so I'm going to start a project from complete scratch so you can follow every step. Open up a new project and we're going to choose 3D URP because if you're making a game in 2024 or later, most likely you'll want to use URP instead of HDRP or the built-in render pipeline. Okay, we're here in our blank project and the first thing we're going to do is import some packages that we'll be using. If you go to the Unity registry tab, you can find the input system package. Go ahead and install that. Now this is referred to as Unity's new input system. It's extremely versatile and allows for very easy setups of multiple inputs and key bindings, like support for both mouse keyboard and controller inputs at the same time. After you import it, you should see it in your packages inside your project.
I did have like
also
a bit of
free asset pack from Unity named Free Low.
I did have a bit of
a
trouble like setting up the whole thing with Unity, but everything should be up to date and doesn't have to be a problem, I think.
Which is in a standard T-pose. There is a problem though. All of the textures are pink. That's because the materials are meant for the built-in render pipeline, but we made a URP project. There's a really easy fix for this. Just go up to Window, Rendering, and then Render Pipeline Converter. All we gotta do is check the material upgrade box, then initialize and convert it at the bottom, and there we go. Okay, we got this cool low poly character, and I'm gonna unpack the prefab completely so that we can make our own prefab, and then let's call this a first-person controller. Before we go any further though, I'm thinking it, you're thinking it, do we really want to work on this dude who looks naked? How about we give him a dark gray tone for his shorts instead? Open up this asset, find the underwear game objects, and let's change the shader color to dark gray. Alright, hopefully now I don't get banned by YouTube. So remember, I named this guy first-person controller, but we're gonna be making both a first and third-person controller in this series, so don't worry if you want a third-person controller, we're gonna get to that really soon. Let's go ahead and make a folder where we're gonna put all of our assets for this player controller. I'm gonna name the folder gaemdev gaming. That's our studio's name. You can name it whatever you want if you want something different. Then let's make a folder named final character controller. We can make a prefabs folder and then drag
this is what I don't get. Why call it the final character
this
controller?
First-person controller into the prefabs. Okay, we have our character, but he needs something to stand on. I'm gonna
prefabs. Like, I think this is the only tutorial that uses prefabs. I haven't seen anything else or any other tutorial so far that uses prefabs.
Controller. We can make a prefabs folder and then drag this first-person controller into the prefabs. Okay, we have our character, but he needs something to stand on. I'm gonna install.
Let me check in on something. Okay, you guys can see this good. Turns out I don't have a prefab folder. I'm not sure let's make one. Wait, I got another. Hang on, give me a sec. Oh, I see.
Install the package ProBuilder because it gives us a lot of different shapes that we can test out our movement on. Install ProBuilder, and also don't forget to click on the samples tab here and install the URP support files. So now I'm going to grab this ProBuilder window and create a clean shape for our character to stand on. Also, let me just swap this out to a green checker texture so that we don't have to work with a blinding white background. Okay, I know that was quite a bit of setup, but we can finally get started with some of the important stuff now. Let's start by making our input system. Create a new folder under final character controller named input. Then inside that folder, create new input actions, which is all the way at the bottom.
Wait. Let me go back to the prefab. It was something that I didn't get well.
Controller. We can make a prefabs folder and then drag this first-person controller in.
Get controller and then put
to the prefabs. Okay, we have our character.
Oh, okay, I see. I think it's already a prefab. Yeah, because it's already in a... Okay, I guess I don't need this then. Alright.
But he needs something to stand on. I'm going to install the package ProBuilder because it gives us a lot of different shapes that we can test out our movement on. Install ProBuilder and also to white somewhere under final character controller named input. Then inside that folder, create new input actions, which is all the way at the bottom of the list. Name it player controls, double click it to open it up, and now what we have are a few different menus. So on the left side, we have action maps, which you can think of this as a set of actions. The first set of actions that we're going to make have to do with player movement, or more formally known as player locomotion. So we're going to name this player locomotion map. Now in the next menu, we have our specific actions. These are actions.
Okay, that's where you got the player locomotion map for. Let me check. Scene settings. Where's the input? Oh, there it is, input. Okay, actually, I think we watched the video.
Map. Now in the next menu, we on that side, click it to open it, which is all the way at the bottom of the list. Name it player controls, double click it.
Input actions. Wait, did I not do that already? Oh, there it is, input actions. But you put it in a input folder. Alright, fine. I'll make a input folder. Just to clean things a bit better. I think I can just rename this. You guys can't see it, but I have the Wolf! Little Fishy with stuff on. Thank you for the follow. That scared me. This is the first time a follow really scared me because I was like, I saw something in the corner of my eye, like popping into my Unity thing. So sorry. No, it's alright. You're good. You're good. Ugh. Alright, let me catch my breath here. Welcome, Ludoricia17. I hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you for the follow. Alright. If you're here for some pro coding stuff, you're at the wrong place because I'm actually more of an artist. I'm learning to code and program as I go. So expect a lot of watching tutorial videos and fumbling through to Unity. If that's right up your alley, then you're in the right place. Let's see, I gotta rename the action maps to what this guy's having.
To open it up, and now what we have are a few different menus. So on the left side, we have action maps, which you can think of this as a set of actions. The first set of actions that we're going to make have to do with player movement, or more formally known as player locomotion. So we're going to name this player locomotion map. Now in the next menu, we have our specific actions. These are actions like jump or WASD, remove.
I'm gonna skip this. I think I have the same thing. Let me see. I do, but I also don't. My action match is called controls, and it has like literally everything in there. But do I need to put them separate or not? We'll have to wait and see. Let me check. Alright.
Go ahead and click exit and save. Navigate to your player controls. So the next thing that we're going to do is generate a C# file so that we can access these inputs using code. I'm also going to do something a little extra here for organizational purposes.
I was watching
but this is
like
on the C# class and namespace. I'm going to enter the namespace gamedev.final character control.
Thank
If you don't understand namespaces,
let me check what I want the robot to do. Right now it can't do anything because the whole thing doesn't work. See? No movement, no camera, no nothing. Because I messed up the input system and I'm trying to fix that by watching a different tutorial about how to do that. But what I wanted to do is... Let's see if this works. There we go. Is to do this. Like, yes, I have Unreal Engine open in the background, which I probably shouldn't be doing. So I want to switch over to Unity instead of using Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine is a bit of a mess right now. Yes, it has like Unreal Engine blueprint scripting, which is really nice, and I can make stuff move. It's not really reliable. Like, you can kick over cars and it just explodes. Or like, it just disappears in a puff of smoke. Poof! And you can talk to people. No damage yet? Wait, is this automatically? No, I see. Mods are beautiful, biggest person can barely do a stick man. Oh, that's alright. The things I put up with. I modeled this thing myself. It's not a good model, but the shape is there, and I can make it move a little bit. So yeah, I can do a bit of weight painting on 3D character models. However, I'm not winning a beauty contest with this thing. I just wanted to make it look good enough and then just put it on in a game environment. Look, it even glows in the dark. How? Because it's an unlit texture, so it always shows up. What program I used to make the model? I use Blender. So there's plenty of tutorials about how to use Blender. I don't remember which one though. Can I show Blender? Well, I don't have Blender open. But I did use Blender to make the model, so I can maybe... I even make Japanese vending machines, but it's not difficult to do because it's literally just a square, well, rectangle, and I just made the texture like this. Oh, this is a gun vending machine. I had to use pixel art to just put every little detail in there. What about a gun? Oh, there we go. Hats up! Yeah, the biggest struggle so far is how do I make this work in Unity? It shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it's not easy either. This is supposed to be like a... I'll show you what this thing does. Let me put it on my... No, not that one. Drop it. There we go. There we go. Shoulder-mounted homing missile rocket launcher. Yeah, look at him go. Also modeled this in Blender. So this originally started as a 2D sprite from a top-down game, and I tried making a 3D model out of it, but it's kind of it's a mess. I'm not gonna lie. But from a distance it looks alright, but up close it just falls apart. Like I had to make something quick and dirty, like as fast as possible. But it's serviceable, like I can still use it. It's not gonna look good, but it needs some cleaning up, that's for sure. Oh boy, what if I put myself into? Also, I make the cars. Can I show cars? Click, zoom in. Yeah, they don't need to look pretty because they're very small anyway. There you go. I kick him around and fly and land on top of him. Pop. Oh, so fun. I wonder if I can do this in Unity. I mean, of course, it's possible, but if I can do it, it's not gonna be easy. Because I never did anything by myself in Unity. Like, I did work in Unity as just as a general artist, or character artist specifically. So I kind of know how it works, but I haven't touched Unity in ages, and everything is like updated and new. But when it comes to programming, I am at a complete loss, which is why I'm watching a lot of tutorial videos. Like, look at this. So the NPCs, these enemies, are supposed to be patrolling around this area, but they get stuck to each other, and it sucks. I mean, I guess I can try fix it, but I don't think I'm gonna continue making more games in Unreal Engine. So I might as well just start learning Unity as soon as I can. They follow me? They can. They can't see very far. Oh wait. Wait, shut up. Oh god. They changed their fire rate if I'm in the air, and that's by complete accident. I didn't program them to specifically do that. It's just a happy little accident in coding. Oh wow! I smacked the other guy in the other one. Now I have a human shield. Oh, wait, I'm pulling to the point. Come on, shoot me. Wait, what the? Yeah, you shoot me. Oh, right, I'm invisible when I'm hiding behind my, my hostage. Oh god. Dual machine guns. Maybe I have to change the design of the anti-air cannons. might have to make them more square. Yeah, the barrels are realistically sized. It's kind of a bit of a mess. Or maybe just keep them like this. No, I'll let you guys decide. Alright. Put this away. Put this back up. Yeah, I don't think I'll be using this. So I was looking at the tutorial because it uses a different name convention.
Don't worry, just think of them as like an extra folder for your code, much like a folder would work on your computer. Now we can just click apply and it will generate a C# file for us, and you can actually see at the top of this file it correctly included the namespace that we entered. Next, let's create a scripts folder and create a new C# file named player controller. I'm also going to create one specifically for our locomotion input named player locomotion input. Go ahead and add both of these scripts to your prefab in the scene and just...
Controller and locomotion input. Oh lordy. Let me check. Oh, you guys can see. There we go. Wait, this song is pretty cool. Oh, it's what's it called? Goemon? Ganbare Goemon Uchu Kaizoku Akikingu. If I pronounce it correctly. No, don't show this. Okay, don't worry about that.
Just a quick note, if you want to update your prefab in the hierarchy, click on this overrides button and apply all to apply any changes that you've made.
I think I'm gonna try doing this.
Let's start by making our input system. Create a new folder under Final Character Controller named Input. Then inside that folder, create new input actions, which is all the way at the bottom of the list. Name it Player Controls, double-click it to open it up, and now what we have are a few different menus. So on the left side, we have action maps, which you can think of this as a set of actions. The first set of actions that we're going to make have to do with player movement, or more formally known as player locomotion. So we're going to name this Player Locomotion Map. Now in the next menu, we have our specific actions. These are actions like jump or WASD movement. So let's change some settings on our first action. I'm going to choose value for action.
Okay, I think I can do this. Let's skip ahead because I already did all of this. Yeah, let me do this one first. Input actions. Rename this. This on a different screen. Now you guys can't see it, but I'm putting this on a different screen. I'll try to describe what I'm doing. Let's see. Player motion map and save.
And the most compelling reason for us to use this new input system. We can create a new set of actions for movement like before, but we can assign this to the gamepad to add controller support.
Yeah, that's
I'll
what
use left stick, which is how we move with most controllers. Then for each of these actions, just select the corresponding gamepad direction. All right, awesome. So now we have keyboard, mouse, and controller input ready to go. Go ahead and click exit and save. Navigate to your player controls. So the next thing that we're going to do is generate a C# file so that we can access these inputs using code. I'm also going to do something a little extra here for organizational purposes, but this is optional. Under the C# class namespace, I'm going to enter the namespace gaemdev.final-character-controller. If you don't understand namespaces, don't worry. Just think of them as like an extra folder for your code, much like a folder would work on your computer. Now we can just click apply and it will generate a C# file for us, and you can actually see at the top of this file it correctly included the namespace that we entered. Next, let's create a scripts folder and create a new C# file named player controller. I'm also...
I don't think I've done that yet. Let me go back.
And click exit and save. Navigate to your player controls. So the next thing that we're going to do is generate a C# file so that we can...
Let me try that. This exercise not size as this project what input access for the input system. I'm not gonna touch this. Maybe I should. global namespace.
Access these inputs using code. I'm also going to do something a little extra here for organizational purposes, but this is optional. Under the C# class namespace, I'm going to enter the namespace gaemdev.finalCharacterController. If you don't understand namespaces, don't worry. Just think of them as like an extra folder for your code, much like a folder would work on your computer. Now we can just...
Okay. He said it's optional, but it might be you need to have. Default character controller. No, I think I'm gonna do dicer dots. Dicer player, I guess. Player. I think it worked. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Got another Discord thing. Okay, it's nothing. Or not of immediate importance at the very least. Just back up. There we go.
Click apply and it will generate the C# file for us. And you can actually see at the top of this file it correctly included the namespace that we entered. Next, let's create a scripts folder and create a new C# file named player controller. I'm also going to create one specifically for our locomotion input named player locomotion input. I'm going to create a scripts folder and create a new C# file named player controller. I'm also
I have a scripts folder.
going to create one specifically for our locomotion input named player locomotion input. Go ahead and add both of these scripts.
It's weird that this is the only tutorial I've seen so far that it does it like this. Okay. This way. Input actions. This code was auto-generated by Community Input System. Change to this file may cause incorrect behavior and will be lost if the code is regenerated. Aha! Alright. Not touching this then. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it a day. Did I learn anything? Yeah, I'm beginning to feel a bit more confident in messing around with this. At first I was like completely at a loss because it's been ages since I've last delved into Unity, so everything is brand new for me. Alright, you guys can see what I'm looking at. I keep forgetting. So what am I going to do for the next couple of weeks? I'm gonna just go switching back and forth between this project and the other project that I'm running in the background. It's a small one, not to worry. I'm gonna take some time for myself to really delve into this little by little. But I have a plan and a strategy on how to do this. Let me pull up my Photoshop. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Documents. There we go. Does it show up? This away. Oh, I closed Photoshop. Alright, that's why it started taking a while. Alright. Check this out. Let me put this way. I'm not animating it. Come on, click. There we go. Pros and cons. I'm gonna use this one. So for now, I'm trying to get a movement system down. Yeah. Movement. If I can get this right, I can maybe start doing like guns. Guns, excuse me. Guns, and after that I can focus on NPCs or enemy NPCs, that's kind of stuff. And if I can make that work, I can look into environments. Environment. Because I'm doing this in layer, like layer by layer by layer by layer. And after environment, wait, jeez. Gameplay systems like missions and such. And also dialogue system. I guess it's a side trait. Dialogue systems. Then there's the art stuff, environment, characters. It's a exponential growth. Like I'm setting down the foundations, because it's a pyramid. Like you have to start from the player movement, then you slowly build upwards. And this is how I see it. If I can get one thing right, I can move on to the next thing, and I can build that as a building block. But this is like a very quick and dirty way of showing what I think. Also, with the whole sandbox thing going on in the background, where is it? Nope, that's not gonna happen. I can still learn Godot instead. Maybe Godot is better or easier. It's similar to Unity in terms of a whole bunch of stuff like scripting, for example. It's I could keep using Unreal Engine. Maybe like go back a version to Unreal Engine 4, because that one's still usable and it's not as bloated as 5. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to be doing more game dev streams from now on, because like last time, I don't have much to show other than what I've already done. Oh, actually, that's just showcasing stuff. But there's nothing new. But I do plan on showing what I have, and instead of doing a whole stream about it, I'll probably just going to be posting it on a Discord. If you're interested in joining the Discord, I do have a link, but I'll probably also try to post it online. We'll see. I'm still in a bit of a weird state. It's already May. It's been 3 months? January, February. No, 4 months even. That's even worse. It's been 4 months into the new year, and I didn't make a lot of progress. I pretty much am back to square one. I guess I'm just gonna try to regain my footing. So this is my current plan. Start with movement, move on to guns and NPCs, and then we'll see what happens from there. Because if I want to make environment, I can fill it up with NPCs, guns, and character movement. If I want to make gameplay system, I already have the environment, the NPCs, the guns, and movement system. Stuff like that. It's a building block. All right, let's see what we can get right into. All right, there we go. Thank you, everyone, for dropping by and checking in on this weird stream that I really didn't plan for, other than stream itself. So we're gonna see if we can relate to someone. Probably someone familiar, but yeah, we'll see. It's always good to see you. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Much appreciated. Good rating to you. Good rating to you. Good rating to Spite. Yeah, should I? Maybe it's best to rate it to a friend. Yeah, I think I... Actually, wait. I think I got a target. Yeah, fuck it. I think we got one. Let me check how far along they are.
I got from there.
Oh boy. Stream for 50 minutes. Perfect, perfect. Alright. I have a raiding target. Let me actually start the raids. Can I? I can. Alright. Today, we're just gonna raid into Popper. Currently playing Pokemon Pokopia over at twitch.tv/Popper. Go check her out. Right off the show and friend of everyone, I guess. Not sure where I was going with that. Rate message is Oxrate. I don't have anything specific, so you can just go Oxrate with a emote of your choosing. And I have some exciting news to share. Next week, I'm finally gonna do the I Reveal stream. I need to set up some stuff. I got something prepared, but you have to wait and see. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. How do I turn off the? Oh, there it is.
Okay. So yellow. Oh, hey! Hey! Welcome in. Hi, Ox. How we doing? Welcome in. How are you doing? What were you up to? What were you doing? Auxilla. Genome. I'm stuffing my face with Asian bakery treats, Chinese to be in fact, while I play some dailies before we start Pokemon stream. Waiting for some more painkillers to kick in. You're doing some game dev? Yo. Says you were last live with... Oh. I guess I spelled your name wrong because it linked to me. Yeah, fuck this guy. You guys should come watch me. There we go. What? Huh? Hang on. I went to hang on, guys. Kaji, I'm gonna send you something on Twitch. I think I have to censor this. Let me censor it first.